So hi there. I thought I'd change up the vlogs a bit and do sort of like podcasty sort of things where I'm just doing a drawing in the background. So today I thought I'd just talk about habits of successful artists, because I want to be a successful artist. So I think these are the main 5 things that will help me in the long run, I think, and help anyone else. There's probably other habits you can think of along the way, but these are the main 5 ones that I really want to talk about. Now this is like an Artcast sort of thing, or an Artycast. I think I'll call it an Artycast, just to be different. So yeah, habits of successful artists. I think number 1 on my little list, I've got them written down here because I can't remember off the top of my head. So being consistent with your artwork. This is something that I've failed at in the past. I haven't really tried to be consistent in what I'm doing. I've just done random sketches here and there and not finished things, which is not good really. But so I think like a schedule, if you work out a schedule, you know what you want to try and draw and create it often, draw or sketch often. This is something that I'm trying to do more of when I don't get like other commissions and other stuff in the way, but I'm still drawing effectively really anyway, even if I'm doing commissions. But I've just got to be consistent, and you have to be consistent in, you know, if you want to be an artist, then you got to keep drawing, improving, and you know, just work at it and plan ahead with what you want to do. So being consistent could mean if you start a drawing, like when I started drawing, this drawing in particular I'm drawing, I never finish it, but if I was consistent, then I'd finish the drawing. But I think I get around to finishing it in my own time, which still isn't good, so that's why I'm not a successful artist at the moment. So yeah, being consistent is number 1. That's I'd say the most important one, because you need to get the artwork done. You know, you need to improve as you're going along, and you need to build up a sort of body of artwork, like a portfolio or something, you know, that you can show that you can do the work. And yeah, so that's number 1. So number 2 is looking for opportunities. This is something that I'm trying to do more recently. Sometimes opportunities just happen, or you know, as you're going along, they just appear without you looking for them, sort of thing. But most of the time, you really have to look for them yourself, because you know, things won't just come to you unless you're lucky, and you know, you know, one thing after another just you know, springs up, and you're able to do lots of work. So what I think is best to try and do is like seek out these other opportunities or potential collaborations with other artists or things like that, just to, you know, get you thinking about what opportunities could be out there. You know, especially when you're selling your artwork, you're thinking about where to sell it anyway, and you know, whether you're going to go the eBay route or print on demand, or just print out your own stuff like art prints and things like that. So I think you really got to look at the opportunities and try and find them. There'll be hidden opportunities out there, obviously, because I've found hidden opportunities and things, and there's some freelancing sites which I've dabbled in, but I'm not really too keen on them. You know, it's a little bit of extra money, but I think the frustration is you're sort of limited in time to try and create the commissions. But in reality, you know, you might have a deadline for commissions anyway and other work. So I suppose you have to get used to it, but I'm not really used to it. I like to work in my own time, and which is sort of like made me think about my own projects to work on more, more in depth. Try and just work on, my graphic novel, for instance, or other little projects that I've thought about and done a few bits of planning towards, but not really got on with anything. So that's an opportunity there. There is my own opportunity, but whether I follow through with it and actually do it is another thing. So yeah, right, yeah. So look for opportunities, wherever they may be, like Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. There's like groups and Facebook or pages, or I don't know, anywhere, forums, anywhere. You'll sort of like gravitate towards your areas of interest and things like that, like I do. I draw horror stuff, so I'm trying to think in that mindset of looking for opportunities in them avenues. I've just, well, I say I've done some sketch cards, but I've done a few, but I need to do some more. So with these Walking Dead ones, I've got them. That was an opportunity. And then there's these band illustrations. They go for more like horror, especially the death metal types. So I'm sort of like trying to find opportunities within them areas, and and I think in the future you've got to think about whether you actually want to do one set of, one theme of artwork, or or whether you can expand and do draw other stuff. I think that's something also to think about. Someone once told me that being an illustrator is about trying to capture as many different styles as possible, which it's sort of made me think, even though I'm not interested in certain styles, it's made me think about trying to draw stuff cartoony as well, just to appeal to a different market, or manga style, because people like that style as well, but then if you're not able to draw them types of things, then I'd just stick with your own style. That's what I'm doing for now, but I'd like to sort of branch out and do other things and just really see where it takes me, that's the opportunities. So number 3 is trying new art techniques. I think it's always best to experiment with different art materials, paints and drawing inks and things. That's what I've been trying to do off and on. Trying to like save on ink. I'm inking here on this drawing with like a brush tip ink pen, which some of them are quite good, but once they run out of ink, it's a bit annoying. You have to buy some more. So I think larger areas of black I tend to like paint in now, particularly if it's like the background or something like that, with like drawing ink or something, which is fairly inexpensive. So but I am trying to do like acrylic painting and oil painting and things like that, just to try and find different ways of working that's gonna bring different techniques and different styles to my artwork. Although I do like this inking technique, which I've done for years, ever since I was a kid, and I found out about like working in like a comic book type style. You pencil like the rough sketch and refine everything, and then ink and things like that. But I never used to colour much as a kid. I did in colouring books obviously when I was much younger, but my own drawings I never really coloured them much, and I just draw in like black and white. And I think that's down to my comic books as a kid, like 2000 AD, in the old, I think it was Eagle comics or something. It was like black and white comic strips and stuff, and I was inspired by them, Judge Dredd and things like that. So I just like the raw like black and white art style. So yeah, so I think it's always best you know, to mix things up, obviously, and find out new ways of working. It's pretty much something that I never really got taught at art college. I wasn't there long. I didn't really enjoy it because they had their own sort of agenda, really, teaching you stuff that was not really useful, really. You know, no. I learned a bit at school. I had a good art teacher there, but then again, people just, you know, used to mess around at school, which was normal, I suppose, but used to distract from, you know. So I used to draw my own thing. So yeah, I want to try different techniques in the future, and maybe you'll do as well. I need to use like an airbrush more. I tried 1 or 2 times and just failed, give up a bit. But that's that. And yeah, I want to improve my oil painting and acrylic painting, and want to work out how to apply the Copic markers a bit more in layers and things, and just experiment. I think you just find that out just by experimenting. Just, you know, find little tips here and there, you know, online through other people, other artists and videos, and just go from there, really. I think that's the best way of learning, self-learning sometimes, especially when you're not learning what you need to at school or college. I think it's good just to self-learn. You can do that now with, you know, with YouTube and there's other online articles, and, you know, step by step how to draw certain things, and it's just a lot better than it you know, it used to be before the internet. I think when I was at college, the internet was well, I didn't know about the internet back when I was at college in 1996. I think it was an earlier sort of you know, version of the internet, which would have been real crap. So I remember getting, I think, internet later on in 2003, something like that, or 4, I think I did. Yeah, and I originally got the dial-up one, and it was crap. And just moved to broadband. Yeah, still not good in the area that we are, but, you know, the internet is just a massive library of knowledge that you really want to tap into. Yeah, so yeah, trying new art techniques. It's just about finding new watercolor. I want to do more of that as well. You know, particularly with the ink pens that I'm using here, that are like waterproof, so I can just try and, you know, colour over. And probably need more thicker paper, because I use quite a lot of the Pan Shop white card, which is it's quite thin. So I've started to get the bristle board, which is quite thick, so that could take a bit of watercolour and you know, a bit of water and paint and other stuff. So yeah, so I want to mixed media sort of thing interests me a lot. So, you know, I think that's always a good sort of way forward with art. If you get bored with a certain way of working, just try something else. It's always a good idea. Right, number 4. Sorry about the sniffles. A cold. Anyway, so number 4 is networking with other artists. This is something that I haven't really done much. I try to, but I'm just a quiet sort of kid, but I need to get out of myself a bit more, and maybe if I sort of networked with other artists who was more into the artwork that I'm into, or even if it's not like the same type of artwork, just to, like, you could learn from each other, and also you could find out other opportunities which, you know, that you might not know about, and like I mentioned before, chances of collaborating with other artists on artwork or comic books or anything like that. And you know, who knows where them sort of things will lead you in the future. You know, you just don't know if something will just take off through a collaboration, or it just might be fun to do, you know, just something at the time to do. So, you know, yeah, I say I say you know a lot. I don't know how many times I've said it, but you know, it's one of them things. Yeah. So yeah, networking with other artists is something that I'm working on. It's a little bit hard for me to get out and um, you know, do things like that. I recently did a card project which I showed you in the video. Like it was like a local thing, and it was okay. It was, well, you know, it turned out all right, but I need to be doing more sort of projects just to get out and about, and even more like things like Horror Fest and stuff. You know, where there's more artists there, and you know, there's more chances of actually selling my work and people seeing my work and things like that. I don't know if I'm going to make it to this Horror Fest this year. I haven't really got any work, really, to be honest. I could just create some, but I haven't really paid for a table, so I think I'll miss it this year. But there's other events, there's little Comic Cons that are becoming quite popular in our area, and if I can schedule all them in, you know, be consistent, going back to the first point, try and, you know, schedule all them sort of events, plan them all out, have the money to like pay for the, you know, the table space and things like that, and then I think you know, I'd start selling a bit more artwork and just get myself out of this, you know, where you're in like your own space sort of thing, and just meet other people, customers, other artists. And, you know, I think it could help. You know, it could help me. I know it can. I just have to get on with it, make that commitment to do that sort of thing, and then just do it really. Yeah. So it's always best to network with other artists and other creative people, because you know, they might have sort of information that you sort of like don't really know that you need until you meet them, if you know, if that makes sense. So yeah. Anyway, that was number 4. So number 5 is, I think, the most important one, I think. But it isn't, you don't really have to really follow it, but if you draw different styles, and it's like do more of what works for you, you know. If there's anything that's been successful, like you've done some artwork for someone and they've bought it, or you know, that something becomes quite a regular thing, then you can, you know, do more of that and try and sell it in other ways. Maybe make art prints. If you're allowed to do the, you know, the art prints off the things you was commissioned, then do that. You can make more money out of it. So it's always best to do that. Another thing that I've been thinking about is going back to a point I did before, you know, I sort of like mentioned earlier, is about drawing other sorts of different things away from horror, or with horror. I'm like thinking about horror movies, particularly for me, but if you want to, you know, think about like fan art, that's for anything really, cartoons, movies, things like that, and you know, or particular specific things like manga, anime or something like that. You know, there's loads of characters you can draw. in your own style and colour, and sell artwork, because people go for that, because they're more it's sort of like not retro, what's the word, more like in demand. It's more like memorable for that person who was into that sort of thing. They're a fan of it, so they will probably buy it if they know about it. So I think it's always a good idea to be successful in that area by doing work that works for you. You know, it sort of sells itself, if you know what I mean. It's, you know, what people are more looking for. I mean, you could do the personal work, like this drawing that I'm doing here. It's like a personal drawing, really. It's not really to do with anything. It's just for me. I just wanted to draw like an undead sort of like corpse thing. But that was my own like little personal drawing. But I think fan drawings and drawings from movies and other sort of media is the way to go. You know, to make your work get out there and, you know, be successful. So there's the 5 habits of successful artists. Just like according to me, you know, that's my own 5. There's probably loads of other habits, you know, that successful artists sort of like aspire to, or, you know, have used, or are, if you know what I mean. So just to summarise: number 1, be consistent. Number 2, look for opportunities. Number 3, try new art techniques. 4, network with other artists. 5, do more of what works for you. Now, if there's any other habits or, you know, things you can think of, just put them in the comments, or discuss amongst yourselves in the comments. I'll be there as well, as I am every single day. Now I'll stop waffling and just enjoy a little bit of music. Cheers now.
So this was like an experimental format where I'd try and draw something and then just pick a topic and talk over it, while I'm drawing. Just I might do these like little podcasty type episodes, and I'll number them and things like that, and just see how it goes really. So I hope you found that interesting, just to hear me talk about a subject whilst trying to draw this. I still haven't finished this one yet, obviously. The arm sort of like messed up. Well, not the arm really, it's more the hand, which I didn't really figure out. I sort of like lost interest at it, so I'll try and finish that at some point. But I quite like the drawing, so I probably will finish this. It's quite interesting to draw these undead zombie corpses. It's drawing all the detail and things like that. So I hope you like the first sort of art podcast type watch me draw thing. If you do, then just give a thumbs up and I'll do some more. Keep doing them. So cheese now. Cheese or cheers.